Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How are you guys doing this evening? How's everyone doing? It's me, Juju. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. How's everyone doing this evening? I hope you all are fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Come on in, guys. Come on in and join us. And as you come in, if you would do me a big favor, like the video, give me a thumbs up, and share the video. Tag some of your friends and let them know that Juju's on the air and that we are getting ready to have another in depth, uplifting, and enlightening discussion. So come on in, come on in. And as you come in, let me know that you're here. Give me a hello, say hi, so I'll know who is out in the audience with me tonight. And just feel free to join in the discussion. Of course, everyone's comments are welcomed, and everybody's opinions are valued. So, thank you for joining us tonight. Come on in and let's get ready for this discussion. So, how has everyone's day been? Mine has been pretty good. I had an awesome day at church today. The pastor preached about how does God get the glory? And how does God get the glory? By us waiting, by us sometimes weeping, and by us working our faith. So I hope that we are all waiting on the promises of God, even if we have to press our way through. We may have to weep, but we keep on believing. And then faith without work is dead, so we have to do some work. But if we do that, then we can trust and believe that regardless to what the circumstance is, God is going to get some glory. So anyway, come on in, come on in, come on in, and let's get ready for another discussion tonight. Hello, Miss Jeanette Smith. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope that you have had a great weekend. I know you have been celebrating Alumni Weekend there at Loach Poca, so I hope you all had a fabulous time and enjoyed your Alumni Weekend. It is always good to get together with family and friends and old friends and catch up and just have a good time, just enjoying yourself. So I hope that you did have a fabulous time. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome to Let's Talk. I am, of course, your host, Juju, and I am looking forward to our conversation tonight. So, as you come in, if you would do me a favor, please like and share the video. Give me a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, tag a friend, let them know that Juju is on the air, and then also tell me hello. Let me know that you're out there watching with us. That way I know who all is involved and engaged in the conversation with me this evening. So I'm so looking forward to the discussion this evening. And guys, while we are on the air, while I have you here, it was awesome. I'm glad. While I have you here, remember that if you have a topic that you would like to discuss, just let me know. Let me know if you have a topic that you would like to discuss, and we can discuss it, because it's not my conversation. It's our conversation. This is our show. And if there's something that is on your mind, then we want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Hello, Miss Darlene Todd. How are you doing this evening? Thank you so much for joining me this evening. How has your day been? How has your day been? I'm so glad to see you this evening. So, guys, uh, if you don't mind, if you would please like and share the video, tag a friend, and we're going to have just an awesome time tonight. We're going to discuss a little bit of election updates and information, and we're going to discuss a little bit about the characteristics of a cult. What does it mean to be in a cult? What is a cult? What are the characteristics of a cult leader? And if someone you know and love is involved in a cult and wants to get out of it, what can you do? Is there help to get someone out of a cult? So, thank you guys. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As you come in, please like and share the video. So we can get more people involved in these enlightening conversations. Like and share the video. Tag a friend. Let them know that Juju is currently on the air. And tonight, like I said, we will be talking about cults, and we will have a little discussion, updates on the election. I hope everyone has made their plan to vote. You've got your registration secured, you're registered. If you need your absentee ballot, you filled out your application and gotten that submitted, and you are all ready to vote. So I hope that you are all ready to vote, and if not, time is winding down. Hello, Mr. Jerry Jackson. How are you doing this evening? I saw that you all had, I couldn't get you. Let's try that again. I for some reason couldn't get you that time. Let's try it again. But I saw, Mr. Jackson, that you had Josh Shapiro at your church today. We'll have to talk about that. How was that? But anyway, good evening, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hello, Mr. Andrew Page. How are you doing? How are you doing, Mr. Andrew Page? Thank you for joining us. Mr. Jackson, I don't see you right now. So I don't know what is going on. Me and this darn internet. I always want to act crazy on a Sunday night. Hello, Miss Tessa Dawson. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me here on Let's Talk this evening. We are going to go ahead and get started soon. Hey, Mr. Jackson, bring the camera down a little bit so I can see your face.
I know, hold on just a minute.
You know you think you're cute, and so you want to be seen. So don't pull that camera down so everybody can see you.
Okay, I think I need to do some adjusting.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Let me see. Is it up too high?
It was up too high. Yeah, you need to bring it down a little bit so we can see your face.
Okay, let's see if.
Because I just saw the top of your head.
Okay, let me see here. Oh, Jesus.
There you go.
Let's see.
Hello, Mr. Michael France. How you doing? Thank you for joining. Thank you, guys, for joining. Mr. Jackson, you left me? Now you know hard as I try to get you in here, then you gonna leave. Hello, Starlet. How you doing, baby Bob? Thank you for joining. Let me see if I can get Mr. Jackson back in here so we can go ahead and get started. Oh, Mr. Jackson, I don't see you. What happened to you? And you done have gone away. Starlet, how are you doing today? All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started for this evening. Of course, I am Juju, and I am Juju, and I'm coming to you live tonight, of course, from my living room. Um, and if you guys would do me a big favor when you come in, if you don't mind, would you please like and share the video? Like and share the video. And then let everybody know that Juju is on the air. Um, let everyone know that Juju is on the air. Okay. All righty then. Hey Duchess, how are you doing? All right, Mr. Jackson, you're back. Okay. I saw that you guys had Josh Shapiro at your church today. We'll have to talk about that, but was he fabulous?
Oh my God. It was a very pleasant surprise. He didn't politicize anything, but just his tone and his message was fantastic. He received a standing ovation.
I'm sure
And
he did. He is an awesome speaker. Awesome.
yes,
But
I
anyway,
mean,
all righty. So, of course, you all know who I am. I'm Juju. I am your host, and I'm coming to you live from my living room this evening. And you all know my brother, my producer, Mr. Jerry Jackson. We are both so excited and delighted to have everyone here with us tonight. We always like to let you know that this is not intended to be a news show, but that we do try to steer clear of gossip and things that are knowingly untrue. And this is a discussion, and we hope that you find it yourself comfortable. You feel comfortable enough expressing yourself. If you have any opinions, they are welcomed. We respect everyone's opinions. We don't have to agree, but we disagree without being disagreeable. So thank you everyone for joining. Hello, Mr. Jonathan Collins. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight we're going to be talking about the characteristics of a cult. And what is that? What is a cult? But first of all, we want to start off as usual with getting some updates about election 2024. And we know that there are now just 23 days until the general election. The last day to register here in Alabama is October the 21st. And I know where you are, Mr. Jackson, the last day has passed. It was October the 7th, correct?
that is
But you
correct.
still, okay. But you still in Alabama have until the 21st to register. So, and each state has their own date. So make sure that you know your dates. And if you plan to absentee vote, you need to get your application in by the 21st of October. Um, Also, please check your voter registration status to make sure that you have not been purged from the voter registration rolls. And I want to invite anyone out there who needs to register to vote or want to check your voter registration status to St. Luke AME Church tomorrow. That's Monday, the October the 14th. St. Luke AME Church. That's 1308 Auburn Street in Opelika. We will be having a voter registration drive. You can register to vote. And you can also check your registration status to make sure that everything is good. We want to get everyone registered, and we want to make sure that everyone is registered. In case there are any issues, you come and check your status before the 21st. So if you need to do anything, update your app, you need to update your registration, you have time to do that. So tomorrow from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at St. Luke AME Church, register to vote or check your voter registration status. All right. So first, let us talk about the importance of this election and the issues um, at play in this election that may be of concern to you. Tonight, we're going to do about a half and half. We're going to talk about some issues because the election is approaching us real quick. And then we're going to talk about cults. What does it mean? What are the characteristics? What do you do if you wake up one morning and find, oops, I've got myself in a cult? Okay, so my first question to you guys is how important is a woman's right to choose when you're determining which candidate you will vote for? We know that since the Dobbs decision, there are many states that have either complete abortion bans that don't even make uh, any concessions for rape or incest. And so we want to know how important is the voter registration? I mean, not the voter registration. How is important a woman's right to choose to you when it comes to making uh, determining who you'll vote for? And while we're considering that, and you guys just let me know, always feel free to just chime in. Hello, Jacory. How are you doing? Hello, Grandma Jean. How are you doing? I'm going to come see you tomorrow, Grandma Jean. But anyway, so um, just let us know how important that is. And while we are waiting for you guys to weigh in on that, I want people to understand that when we talk about a woman's right to choose and when we talk about the abortion bans that states have implemented, they don't just prevent a woman from having an abortion. They they prevent a woman from all kinds of medical care. If a woman is pregnant and she unfortunately has a miscarriage and she needs to have a D&C, um, these abortion bans prevent the woman from having a D&C, which is they consider to be an abortion because it's the same process. But in case of a miscarriage, a woman's baby has died. The baby, of course, is not growing. It's not viable. It is no heartbeat, no anything inside the womb, and then a woman can become septic because she has this dead tissue in her body and can't have it removed because it's illegal. Doctors are afraid to do it, afraid they'll go to jail, afraid they'll lose their license. And so they won't do it until it becomes life-threatening for the lady. And we know we have heard of several cases where women have died because they could not get that care that they needed. Hello, Arletha Tyner. How are you doing? So, how important is the woman's right to choose? Is that an important factor when you are making your decision on who you'll vote for? Mr. Jackson?
Juju, just so that you know, I do not have access to the live chat.
Oh,
Um,
okay. You're not seeing any chat
no, so
information.
you're gonna have to. I'm just here. I mean, I don't
Okay.
understand what's going on, so I don't know who's watching, who's come in, or I've tried
Okay.
to post some things, but I don't see
Okay.
anything
I
that I've
see you.
posted.
See, you said hi, Tiffany, because Tiffany says, I need a hello too. Hello, Tiffany Williams. How are you doing?
And
Hello.
I don't see anything in the chats moving, so just be cognizant of that. And would you mind watching it for me? And I'll do the
Okay.
very best I
Okay.
can over here.
All right. Well, so I don't see any comments myself on that particular question. Did you have anything that you wanted to add? Michael France did say it is very important. I don't see how anyone can tell a woman or anybody what to do with their body and health. Uh, yeah. And the other thing that I would like to say about that is today it's a woman's right to choose. Then tomorrow it's something else. You know, once people start pulling away, they don't like, I was talking to Duchess and I were talking yesterday, and it's not like they're going to just go in and just take everybody's rights, but they'll do it little by little. And it's kind of like they say boiling a frog. You just turn up the heat gradually, and the frog doesn't even realize that the water is getting hotter, and next thing you know, it's been boiled to death. That's kind of how the stripping away of rights, and especially this Supreme Court. You know, they have already signaled some other things that they want to attack, like a person's same-sex marriage and gender identities. They are stripping away the diversity, equity, and inclusion. They're, step by step, little by little, they're just like an onion peeling away until all you look up one day and all of your rights have been stripped away from you. So anyway, if a person's right, and like they said, if you're a person who does not believe in abortion, that's fine, because it's not about being pro-abortion. It's about being pro-choice. Um, and um, Darlene Todd says that she thinks a woman should have her own choices. And I do as well, because I do not know your circumstances. And like I said, when it comes to these total abortion bans, little girls who have been victims of incest, women who have been raped, um, people who are carrying children where the doctor said the child will have zero quality of life, um, or that the child will not be viable. You'll carry the baby for 9 months only to bury it. Uh, all these kind of things, none of that is taken into consideration. Pro-choice does not mean you are pro-abortion. Exactly. All righty then. So our next question tonight I want to ask about is, if Donald Trump is elected president, do you think there will be a fundamental change in our democracy? Do you think our democracy will change fundamentally if Donald Trump is elected president? And we know, of course, he has been given, or the president has been given uh, uh, excess or excessive rights and freedoms to do what they want to do by the Supreme Court. Um, we know that Donald Trump has said he wants to be a dictator on the first day. Um, and there are a lot of other things. He wants to do mass deportations, wants to get rid of, um, wants to get rid of births.
you know, if you're birth citizenships, if you're born in America, you are a United States citizen. He wants to get rid of those citizenship rights. Hello, Jacori says that it would be a disaster. Can't help but to agree with you. Um, hey, Sandra Pelletier, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. Mr. Jackson, what are you thinking on that? What's your
Well,
thinking?
it 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 just puts so much fear um, in my soul because it takes me back to I don't even know why we're here discussing a threat to democracy, but it would be absolutely preposterous if he were to be elected, and it would cause our democracy to be gone. Because clearly, as you said, and he said, and every word, and then even his comments that he wants to be a dictator and he wants to arrest people that don't agree with him. And that means his political opponents,
Mm-hmm.
anybody
Mm-hmm.
that goes against
Mm-hmm.
anything that he
Mm-hmm.
says, which typically goes against what we do here in America. You know, when you think about stripping the rights of women slowly but surely, as you said, it's going to go with everything else. So clearly it's going to be a threat to democracy, and we're not going to be able to make a decision for anything. We are no longer going to be what I would call a free America. We're not going to be able to think for ourselves because he and his government will be controlling us.
Yeah, and that is what he wants. And like you said, Mr. Jackson, he wants to go after his political opponents, have them arrested, use the um, Justice Department, weaponize it against those who don't agree with him, remove long-standing federal employees from their jobs and replace them with people that agree solely with him, no diversity in even opinions in there. And that is one of the hallmarks of democracy, a diversity of opinions.
I have a
Jacora said he's go ahead. Oh, you see a comment?
Well, I do see one now. Michael
Okay.
France says if he follows Project 2025 agenda, democracy will be changed. And Jacory says we need to arrest him. Um, I totally agree. But one of my biggest concerns is the immunity from the police officers.
Mhm.
And what frightens me is we're already in a disproportionate start when we are pulled over on the side of the road. And
Mhm.
now police officers who say they may feel threatened or you move the wrong way, they can do things to individuals and not be held accountable. And as we've seen over the years, where our young black men, our older black men, our middle aged black men and women have been
Mhm. And
murdered
women.
unjustly. And
Uh-huh.
we have to go
Uh-huh.
through rigmarole to get them arrested for what they've done, murder. And I, I I'm so afraid for our people of color,
Mhm.
especially our black men,
Our
because
young
that
black
just
men. And that is what confounds me, Mr. Jackson, about some of the opinions of our young black men. I don't know if that they are not fully educated. He wants to bring back stop and frisk. So
yes,
stop and frisk was just a way of racial profiling, and you don't have to have any reason. That does not have to be right now. um, a person has to be suspected or supposed to be suspected or in violation of a law or seen committing a crime or something for you to stop them or pull them over. With the stop and frisk, walking while black is good enough. Or riding while black or riding while brown or just because today is Wednesday and I see that guy and he looking a little too happy, so we're going to just pull him up. Why he's so happy? Well, I'm just a cop and I'm having a bad day, so I want to make somebody else have a bad day. You don't, there's no, with stop and frisk, there, anything goes.
Right.
Wants to get rid of body cameras. So anything that is, that it has been our saving grace in many instances, body cameras and videos of bystanders that has saved people and has allowed for prosecutions. But you want to get rid of any evidence of any wrongdoing, and so there is no body camera. It's just a lot that we need to really press in on in these last 23 days to make sure that everyone in our community knows the importance of this election and knows the what is at stake, and realize that your vote is so much more valuable than a $1,200 stimulus check.
And Juju, I want us to really understand the importance and weigh the values of this election. It is not about a stimulus check. It's not about a Democrat. It's not about a Republican. It's not about an independent. It's about the fundamental rights and living of every citizen in this country. I cannot imagine if we were to turn into a country such as China, Korea, or Russia, or and you think about those leaders over there, they are fearless. They do any and everything in their power to denigrate, delineate, kill, destroy anybody that's against them. And that's what this Project 2025 is going to do with a leader such as Trump. I am really disgusted that I don't even know why that person, he is still a person of conversation, because clearly he does not have the wherewithal. And we're not going to even talk about how he's just going down mentally and his health. There are so many other things that I could address, but I just can't imagine what would happen if we were turning into a Russia, a Korea.
And that is the thing too, Mr. Jackson. I think as the further we are removed from our history,
Yes,
the more we feel like we can't go back. But if we don't fight, and if we don't remember, and if we don't remind our young people about our history, the Bible tells us that if we don't know our history, we are destined to repeat it. So we can most assuredly go back, and we can most assuredly go back to a dictatorship, or a
aristocratic.
Yeah. We a non-democratic society.
Right.
We can go back. So
And it
we
won't
have to
matter.
remember that.
And it won't even matter about voting rights, because
Right.
you won't need to vote, because
And
everything will be pushed
it will
down and told
be
you what to do.
meaningless.
Meaningless.
You look at Russia.
Russia.
They have elections.
For what?
And what? And the elections don't mean anything. Look at Venezuela right now. They have had an election. They elected a new leader, but the current leader refuses to leave,
Does that sound
to relinquish
familiar?
power.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, refuses to relinquish power. And so there you got the current leader doesn't recognize the one that has been duly elected by the people. And we can here in America go into that type of situation if we are not careful. And so let me ask you this, Mr. Jackson. This week there has been a lot of discussion about former President Barack Obama, and he went into the into Harris's election
Campaign rally. He went into a
campaign.
rally.
Well, campaign rally, but he went to a campaign headquarters in Pittsburgh, also. And when he was in there, he was talking about the young black men and their vote, and how, they were either saying that they weren't going to vote or they were going to vote for Trump because they couldn't see themselves voting for a woman president. And it was a lot of pundits, black pundits on the air, criticizing him for making that comment. How do you feel about that?
Well, I totally agree with everything that he said because the truth hurts, and it is absolutely paramount that we have to tell the truth. Where were the lies? There were no lies that he said. He was telling the truth. And we as black men have to fess up and say, did he tell the truth or did he hurt my feelings? I think their feelings were hurt, but the black pundits, it's the same spiral that the black pundits are doing. They were saying, how could we elect a black woman? We need to know more about her. What is it that we need to do? We've done everything possible to appease our people. And the truth, he told the truth. Um, you know,
I
because that's
have to
what.
agree with you on that. He told the truth, and like you said, they were saying he was being condescending to black men, but he's just telling you what he's seeing in the pollings. He's just telling, hey Lynn, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. He's just telling you what you see, what he sees in the polls. Like you said, he didn't make it up, and that is what the polling is saying. And when you're going out and interviewing a lot of these young black men, they're saying they're going to vote for Trump because he gave us a stimulus check, or I don't see I can't see a woman running the country. And it's like, you need to get over that. Women have been holding up the
The
black
banner.
community for
Well, it,
forever, and the black community has been holding this country up, to tell you the truth. So they've been holding it down for forever.
well, that is true. And um, nothing that President Obama said was shocking or surprising. It was the truth. And many of us, black men walking around today, we know that our grandmothers and our mothers held it up for us. And it was
Exactly.
everywhere. I mean, everywhere,
Exactly.
because the black men did not have an opportunity to do anything. The women didn't even have a right to vote, but the black men were considered, three-fifths of a person. So the women had to hold up the fort. I mean, the women were doing 2 and 3 jobs, whether it was working in somebody's home, cooking, doing
Right.
babysitting, whatever. So there was nothing that President Obama said that was out of order. It was just the main truth. And Corey says, I think that we need to educate our young men on the importance of this election. And Michael France says, I have
A band
band-aids for their hurt feelings. I agree. And Ja'Cory, we are doing everything possible to educate our young black men. And I'm doing phone banks, calling door to door. I'm doing all of that, even with my bad knees, to educate. Andrew Pace says, yes, they did. Those old saints still doing it today. Absolutely. So,
Absolutely. They
so
are absolutely. doing it today. And so I totally agree, and I hear the pundits on there, and I don't think that 90%, well, that's what's in the polls. If I mean 20%, that's what's in the polls. Okay, and we elected this person and this person in Pennsylvania. Okay, so why is Donald Trump leading Kamala Harris in the polls then? If
Right.
you elected so many black people and all this in Pennsylvania, make it make sense. Because what you're saying, we got to acknowledge the truth before we can deal with it. You got to
And
acknowledge it before you can deal with it.
and the polls are they're just bombarding us. One day you'll hear this, one day you'll hear that. This poll says this poll says that. I am of the opinion, like the Harris Waltz campaign says, we are in a fight for our lives. I
We
don't
are.
care what the polls say, we are the underdog. Even with this person, these two individuals on that other side of the ticket are just absolutely preposterous, but we're still the
And,
underdogs.
and
And um,
and you can look at them and say that they are ridiculous, they are preposterous, that Donald Trump is nuts, that they talking about eating cats and they're lying, and they talking about Democrats controlling the weather and sending storms to disrupt the election, sending storms to disrupt the elections in the red parts of states, just all kinds of foolery.
foolery.
But the
But
fact of the matter is, unless you go out there and we vote in great numbers, these people will be in charge of this country.
And Julia, Jacory says sometimes the poll numbers are skewed,
Mm-hmm.
and he's absolutely right. We just need to get out and vote. But a lot of these, I was sitting in my chair trying to watch a football game, and I guarantee you, I counted 60 advertisements, commercial campaign advertisements.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they're fear mongering.
Right.
They're
Right.
trying to scare people, but they didn't tell you about the rally that they had in California. I don't understand why he's in California doing a rally where he's not going to win that state. But he bussed all of his supporters out to a field, and they had to bus them in and left them. They had no way to get back. But you don't hear that on mainstream media. So, I'm still trying to figure out why would you be going into Colorado, into California, to areas that you know you're not going to win. But there's a tactic behind that. Andrew Page
Yeah.
says our black males are waiting on a free check from another white man. And oh my God, you summed that thing up. And oh, I want to shout behind
All
that. But
right, Andrew.
but Julia, here's the thing. We don't educate ourselves because if you look at the economy, and I don't mean to go off on this tangent, but you look at the economy, you look at black unemployment, you look at the Dow, you look at the gas prices. I need for us as a
Mm-hmm.
people to understand why the prices in the grocery store are high. It's because of price gouging. The
Mm-hmm.
company that the stores that you go into, they're profiting billions of dollars because they're gouging the prices when they should not be doing such, but they're profiting billions, and here we are suffering. So you think
Mm-hmm.
about that. Why are these prices in the grocery store high? That is a political tactic to put
That
fear.
that is that
It's
is a
a
political
political
tactic.
tactic,
A
yes.
lot of these big businesses want, of course, because they get the big tax breaks
That is
with Donald Trump
correct.
along, the big tax breaks for businesses. Andrew, did you see he had a
Yeah, he
how you
says don't want
say
to be educated.
that?
They don't want to be educated. Hello, Stephanie Lee, welcome in. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people that will take the horse and grab it and just run. Because when I ask you why are you supporting Donald Trump, and you come to me with the stimulus, immediately I discount your educability
Mm.
because you have not done any research. I want to know, what has he done for me? I'm not talking about you. When I say me, I'm talking to you. What did he do to improve you? What policies were there that he instituted that made life better for you or your parents or your grandparents? Because when I think about medical
Mm.
medical care, it frightens me. And
Mhm.
people that are my age,
Mhm.
we're taking care of our parents, okay? We don't have a huge savings that we can just go out and spend $6,000 a month to put our loved ones in a care facility. That is absolutely asinine. Lynette says the stimulus checks are from the taxpayers. Absolutely. And it was a Democratic Congress that approved it. And he only wanted to put his name on it for
And,
political
and
reasons,
and
like
the
the
thing
political
about
reason
it,
today.
Mr. Jackson, when they talk about stimulus checks,
We were in a
I'm confused on
pandemic.
I'm confused on that anyway,
We were
because
in a
you got a
pandemic.
stimulus check from Joe Biden too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't understand. You got a $1,200 stimulus check from Trump. You got a $1,400 stimulus check from Joe Biden. I don't understand. I think, like Obama was saying, they come up with excuses
Yes.
um because they don't want to tell you what the facts are. And the
Because,
facts
you know,
are a lot of people don't want to vote for a woman president, and we got to get over that, because you either got a woman or a maniac. What don't
and
be?
conspiracy and lies make things better. And Ja'Cory says, we have an important race right here in our state. What's your thoughts? Ja'Cory, are you referencing the race with our Alabama alum? Is that?
Shamari
Yes,
figures,
Jamari Figures, absolutely.
and
I'm almost,
that is important because they you know nationally, yeah, congressional, nationally, he could be the difference in the balance of power, that seat, in the balance of power in the House. And they are saying that the Senate is looking like, the Democrats may lose the Senate. We need the House. We definitely need the House. So we need to elect Shamari Figures, of course. And in Lee County, he's not in our county. We
thank
can't vote for
you.
him, but we can promote.
Yes,
We can promote him. And it is important. That's why it's so important for us to get out and vote. And people say, this is a red state, my vote doesn't count. Yes, your vote does count. Your vote counts. It's important. And you need to vote all the way down the ballot, not just the top of the ticket. And if you have an opportunity to vote for Shamari Figures here in Alabama, please, please, please do so. Um, I see some other comments,
Andrew,
Mr. Jackson. Let's go on so I
Andrew,
can get to these other
absolutely.
questions. So we
Andrew says, and what did we do? We ran to Walmart and bought televisions and unnecessary items with that check. And Ja'Cory says, congressional. Yes, very important. Thank you, Tiffany, for that comment. So you're absolutely correct. But go right ahead, Juju.
Okay, so in her speech at the Democratic National Convention, Michelle Obama implored all of us to do something. In these last 23 days, what can each of us do to stress how important this election is and how serious a decision it is when deciding who you should vote for? We need to all consider that personally. We need to take it upon ourselves. Flood. We need to flood the. We need to vote. Definitely vote, but we need to get others out to vote. We need to flood our timelines with information. Flood our timelines with information. constantly, all day, every day, with facts, 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 so that people can see it. Young people stay on TikTok all the time and they get all their TikTok news. So we need to be flooding these social media platforms with facts. And when we see lies, I know we get tired of fighting lies, and sometimes you just won't say, I don't, but we can't get tired now. We can't get weary now. We can't stop. When Kamala came in, you know, the excitement was real, real high. I see it's not as high as it was. So we have got to kick it up not. We got to be flooding our timelines, people we see, stuff that we hear that's not true. We're in a fight for our lives, so we got to scratch. We got to do some old ugly fighting, some old back in the day
And,
jungle fighting, pulling hair, scratching eyes, and put on our Vaseline and take off our earrings. We in a fight for our life, and when you're in a fight for your life, you got to do whatever it takes to win.
and Julia, we need to be in our chat groups promoting and talking about the facts. That you can go to the Harris Waltz campaign. You can sign up for the app. It'll give you printed, visual, audio. Uh, videos that you can share in your chat groups or on your social media platform. And if you've been paying attention to my platform, you'll see me posting something, sometimes several times, from the Harris Waltz campaign. I'm going to post that
Mhm.
the oh my Lord, what is it called? The app. I'm going to post the app, and you can become a member of it. Darlene Todd says, by any means necessary. Lynette says we need to vote. Um, Lynette also says we need to define to people what democracy means. And that's what I mean by Lynette, we need to make sure we're talking to our everyday people in our chat groups. Whether, you can send out mass text messages, and sometimes, people may not like the mass text messages, but they've been working for me. I had an opportunity to really have a conversation with one of my neighbors and got him to see the light on our side. So, utilizing your ability on your social media platform is really critical.
Yeah, yeah, and we all have to commit to the fight. Everybody needs to be in the fight right now because this is very serious. And I think the people on here tonight know it, but we got to figure out how to blast it, how to get it out to those who may not know. And so everybody got to take their own take it as a personal responsibility. It's my responsibility to make sure that everybody that I come in contact know the truth. Now, if they choose to ignore it, but at least I need to put it out there.
So we've got a message from
Okay.
Lynette. The word democracy comes from the Greek words demos, meaning people, and kratos, meaning power. So democracy can be thought of as power of the people, a way of governing which depends on the will of the people. That is a powerful statement, and I am going to take that and use that immediately after we come off of this live, and I'm going to send it out to my social media site. It's very important that we understand that. Thank you, Lynette. We appreciate that.
Yeah. And we had more of that discussion than I planned on, but anyway, it's necessary. Okay, but this other part for tonight is necessary too. What is a cult? A cult is a destructive individual. When destructive individuals and cults use deceptive and undue influence to make people dependent and obedient. A group should not be considered a cult merely because of unorthodox beliefs. It is typically authoritarian, headed by a person or a group of people with near complete control over the followers. Cult influence is designed to disrupt a person's authentic identity and replace it with a new identity. There are many types of cults, including political, religious, self-help, large group awareness training, mini cults, multi-level marketing, MLMs, conspiracy theory cults, commercials, labor, sex trafficking. And you know, when we think about cults, I guess the first two things that come to mind is Charles Manson and Jim Jones. All right. And Charles Manson had one kind of a cult, and Jim Jones, of course, had another kind of a cult. But they had a lot in common, even though they were different kinds of things. They still had a lot of things in common. And one of the things that they have in common is the characteristics of the leader. And I want you all to listen to these characteristics and see does this remind you of anybody. Narcissistic tendencies, authoritarian leadership style, manipulation and control, grandiose delusions, charismatic persona, lack of guilt or remorse, pathological lying, claiming supernatural powers, arrogance and boastfulness, and sociopathic and psychopathic traits. Does that remind you of anybody?
We'll allow for comments. I will refrain. We'll let the listeners.
Listen, don't drink the Kool-Aid. I think so many people have drank the Kool-Aid. Okay. And then
Todd says yes. She says yes. She
it
just did not.
did not offer any other commentary. But anyway, so recognizing a cult. With a cult, there is absolute authoritarianism without accountability, zero tolerance for criticism or questions, lack of meaningful financial disclosure regarding budgets, unreasonable fear about outside world and often involves evil conspiracies and persecutions, a belief that former followers are always wrong for leaving and have never a legitimate reason, abuse of members, followers feeling they are never able to be good enough, believe that the leader is right at all times, and belief that the leader is the exclusive means of knowing truth or giving validation. Cults are dangerous because they typically rely on deceptive and authoritarian practices to make members dependent on and obedient to the group. Now, I was having a discussion with Jordan, and you know, she's a psychology major, but she wants to specialize in behavioral science type things, and so she studies a lot of cults. And I was asking her, and I'm just going to put that out to you, did she think that Donald Trump and his followers was a cult? And she said that she didn't think they were a cult. They had cult-like followings. He had cult-like followings, but because of the proximity, and usually a cult is encapsulated or enclosed and kind of cordoned off from the rest of society, she didn't think that that it was actually a cult. But all of those characteristics that we laid out, we all know that Donald Trump possessed every one of those.
And I love how she preface that. And, that's the scientific definition. Um, but we also have to recognize cultist
Right.
behaviors.
Right.
And I, based upon the research that I did and based upon what I'm seeing, all I have to do is go by what I see, the actions.
Mhm.
And
Right.
those are cultist behaviors. Darlene Todd says it reminds me of someone.
Mm-hmm.
The scientific definition, when I looked at it, and it is a cornered division of people following someone or something that they have really strong beliefs, and their leader is elevated to be the supreme being.
Mm-hmm.
No one and nothing else is higher than that individual. So once that person speaks, that is the authority.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that is a cultist behavior.
It is. And I just want to know, what do you guys think? Do you think that Donald Trump and his followers have a cult? I was studying in my study of Jim Jones. They were talking about how, the people say he was the chosen one. And you hear
Yeah.
that same
Well,
terminology from even religious people about Donald Trump.
yeah.
As demonic as some of his actions are, they say he's the chosen one.
But you
Um,
also need to understand that the evangelical movement is now is known as a right wing movement.
mhm.
It's a nationalist movement. We've got a comment from Andrew Page,
Uh-huh.
and he was referencing cults, and he says it has happened in his family, and it destroys the relationship within the family, and it has destroyed for years, but by the grace of God, they came out of it.
And that is part of the cult mentality, Andrew. They want to separate their members from their family. Anyone who would tell them something that is against the beliefs, or that would go against the supreme leader or the leader, they don't want that person. They don't want the members to be associated with it. And that's why, Jordan was saying, the proximity and in the closed circle um, that cults generally have. Um,
Lynette, Lynette says he gives his followers permission to be themselves, and that is almost an oxymoron for being in a cult,
mm,
because when you are cult or in cultist behavior, they don't get permission. They have to do as they're told, and if they move outside of that, then it becomes detrimental to them. So I'm assuming Lynette is saying because he
what is
gives
in
them.
them is coming out. I think that's what she's saying.
Okay.
It was already in them. Um, it was already in them, but he gives them permission to say the quiet parts out loud,
Oh,
basically.
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Um, okay, and I was looking at it from a different perspective, but thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gives people the permission to say what the quiet parts out loud. Um,
Okay.
uh-huh. Yes, that's Lynn said yes. But anyway, so and the thing about it is cults for the most part never end positively. I mean, it don't come to a good end when a person is involved in a cult. But anyway, if you or a loved one is involved, or you've slipped up and found yourself in a cult and you want to get out, then there is help. Dare to doubt. because as part of being in a cult is just belief. They're gonna have just total absolute belief in what their leader is telling them. So Dare to Doubt is the name of the organization. They have therapists and experts who specialize in cult recovery, and many of them were once cult members themselves. You are in a destructive group and need help leaving. They will help you find safety if you are in a cult, literally, and that you can learn how to filter harmful programming from your own truth and give you the tools to rebuild your life outside of the group. So if you do think, or you think a family member is a part of a cult, then there is help. And it is www.daretodoubt.org cult. Okay. Yeah, okay. All righty. But anyway, so thank you guys for joining in. Mr. Jackson, we got announcements for tonight.
Yes, we have quite a bit, and thank you so much. Um, let's go ahead and get started. So, next um, Sunday, um, October 20th, 24, our Let's Talk discussion would be, should Christians celebrate Halloween? And the following Sunday, October 27th, we're going to have my dear friend and church member, Dr. Alvita Reese, who will be coming in to speak to us on breast cancer. And then, of course, that following Sunday is the Sunday before voting, and we're going to talk about getting out to vote. On Monday, tomorrow, October 14th, from 2 to 5 p.m., St. Luke AME Church, the historic St. Luke AME Church, 1308 Auburn Street, will be hosting a voter registration status and register to vote, along with sponsorship from Hold Up the Light and Let's Talk. On Saturday, November 2nd, the historic St. Luke AME Church will be hosting a wonderful fall festival. There will be a tailgating opportunity where we will be watching the Auburn versus Vanderbilt game on the big screen. There will be free popcorn, lemonade, and candy, fun and games for the kids, and you'll have an opportunity to shop local vendors. Vendors, we do have spots available, and they're only $25. Please contact Juju, Duchess Thomas, or myself if you are interested in vending. We would love to have you. This is going to be a absolutely phenomenal game because we know that Vanderbilt is now the talk of the SEC. They're whooping up on everybody. Oh my God. Okay. Then we have Hold Up the Light is available to assist anyone who is interested in getting their voting rights restored. I'll have that number posted in the chat. Also, Hold Up the Light will be available for rides to the polls on Election Day. I will post that phone number. Ensure that your identification is valid. You must have a valid state-issued ID, which is required to vote anywhere, whether it's Alabama, Georgia, Florida, it does not matter. Make sure that your driver's license have not expired, that your state ID is current. If you do not have an ID, you can get one free, and you can contact Hold Up the Light for additional information. I will post that phone number in the chat. In the state of Alabama, you can check your voter's registration status by going to myinfo.alabamavotes.gov. Again, you can check your voter's registration status at myinfo.alabamavotes.gov. Please do not forget to subscribe to the Divinely Guided Podcast YouTube channel. You can catch all those episodes each Monday featuring the dynamic mother-daughter duo of Duchess Thomas and Adrielle Vincent. and I will post that link in the chat. We also ask that you subscribe to Juju's Dollhouse YouTube channel. You'll be able to keep up with everything going on with By Juju for you. Also, you can catch editions of Let's Talk that you may have missed, and I will post that information. And by the way, Juju will be vending at the wonderful event, the Fall Festival. By Juju for You is a proud sponsor of Hold Up the Light, Huddle, and those are the announcements. And we also ask that you please like and share this broadcast and encourage your friends and family to tune in with us, because we want to become viable to our community. Back over to you, Juju.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson, for those announcements. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I have really enjoyed this discussion. Remember to encourage someone to get out and vote and answer any questions that they may have. Educate yourself so that you can educate others about the issues that are prevalent, that are so important, that are so critical in this election. Know what democracy is, and then you can know what we could lose if we lose this election. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. You know that I love you. I will see you all out. Just drive by and toot your horn if you don't need to register to vote. I'll be out. We'll be out in front of St. Luke tomorrow registering to vote and checking registration statuses. So drop by and just say hello to us, or register. And if you know someone who needs to register, bring them by or send them by. We'll be there. And hopefully also you'll be able to, if you need ride to the poll, be able to sign up with Hold Up the Light to get your ride to the poll. So we want to do everything we can to make sure that everyone exercises their right to vote. It is too important. This election is too important for you to sit it out. It is too important. And our percentage of eligible voters that vote was just too low. If we vote our numbers, we can definitely make a change. And remember, vote down ballot. If you're in an area where you can vote for Shamari Figures, make sure that you do that so that we can get another Black representative in the United States House of Representatives. But anyway, thank you guys. I have really enjoyed this discussion tonight. I will see you all again next week. Make sure, like Mr. Jackson says, that you like and share this video. Tell your friends about Let's Talk. And until next time, we're going to see you. I am Juju. I am that mountain moving giant slayer. I am walking by faith. I am inspiring hope. And I am showing love all along the way. Until next time, I wish you guys much love and many blessings. Good night. Good night, Andrew. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody. Love you. Good night.